Chargers dominated the Rams in joint practice just a couple days ago, or at least that's what I heard, because as you guys know, I've been gone for a little while now, almost a week. I've been out of state, but I'm just now coming back and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, trying to see what actually happens, looking up all the stuff on Twitter and seeing on the Chargers website, because I wasn't able to keep up while I was out of state. But I'm going to find out exactly what went down from that joint practice, because I think it is important to see where this team stacks up against another NFL team at this point, because really there's a lot of unknown with these new coaches, a lot of the new players. We're taking flyers on a lot of veterans. How are they actually going to perform? A lot of guys that have injury histories too. But now, I don't think that this practice is going to be the end all be all of like how this season is going to play out. But I am going to try and find out everything that happens and determine what we can actually take away from it. And spoiler alert, there's a lot of good takeaways from this practice. So the first thing that I want to get out of the way here is that the Rams, their offensive line is like battered and bruised right now. They didn't have their left tackle, left guard, or their right tackle playing against the Chargers. So that's why we saw a lot of defensive pressure, you know, that edge group. The Chargers have one of the best edge rooms in the NFL, and when they're playing an offensive line that doesn't have either of their starting tackles, it's going to be rough out there. And we definitely saw that the Chargers defensive line and that edge room was dominating the Rams all day. We also did have some guys that were not practicing against the Rams. Quentin Johnston, he had his pads on, but he was just kind of working off to the side. Ladd McConkey was not practicing. I really wish that we could have seen some Ladd McConkey against the Rams, because he's been doing really well in training camp, even all the way back to OTAs. Ever since the Chargers drafted him, he's been playing really well. Trey Pipkins, Jamaree Salyer, Kamani Vidal, Junior Colson, Justin Herbert, obviously, and Leon Johnson. All of these guys were not practicing. Bro, if Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey were on the field, I really wish that we could have seen what this offense would look like, because with Easton Stick, Max Duggan, you know, we're not going to see a lot of offensive highlights anymore in training camp because our quarterback is not going to be playing. Let's get into the clips, get into the good stuff, because there was a lot of good stuff from the Chargers defense, where Derwin James right here getting that tipped ball, and then Asante Samuel Jr. picking it off in the backside of the end zone. I think that ball was going to Puka Nacua, is that right? Yeah. And also Puka Nacua later on, he suffered an injury, so hopefully he's okay. But let's go all the way back to the beginning of this play, because why is Matthew Stafford throwing a contested ball like that? I mean, Derwin James, he got his hands on that, and Asante Samuel Jr. got his hands on that. His receiver didn't even touch the ball. But look at the back of this pocket right here. We're seeing Morgan Fox getting some pressure, and then Tuli Tuipulotu, you can see by the time he gets into the frame, he's already slowing down. And you can see Matthew Stafford, he's almost kind of like bracing that left side of his body. He's got that elbow tucked in like that, and he's not really stepping into that throw because his body is probably accustomed to, ooh, I'm going to take a hit right here. Tuli Tuipulotu absolutely would have been able to hit the quarterback. And then this ball goes deep up, and it's just kind of lingering in the air. Derwin James is able to get that. And then Asante Samuel Jr. with a little toe tap you see right there. Both those feet are in bounds. Quentin Johnston from, you know, my last video didn't get both those feet in bounds, but Asante can. I'm not hating on Quentin Johnston. I'm just, you know, it's just something that I just came to my mind. This is a great play. I love seeing the defense play opportunistic like this. This was happening all day. This defense was dominating the Rams offense. As you can see right here, this is the second team defense, but let me play it back for you, because the man that was breaking this ball up to tip it in the air, that is Tony Jefferson. So we're seeing some veteran players playing well on this second team. And also there's Dean Leonard back there. Nick Niemann with that interception. Obviously this is second team, so it's not, you know, some crazy play that we can go in some real good, you know, go in depth on. But here's this other play from the Chargers social media team. If I just keep going right here, here we go. This is going to be another interception. Let me try to get this frame. Boom, right there. That's Otita Ogbonya getting that hand up and batting that ball up in the air. And then you can see there's also going to be something interesting that I'm going to point out in a second here. But Denzel Perriman getting that ball, just, you know, catching it with his shoulder pad basically, and then trying to run downfield. He would have been tackled right there. But look at who is deep downfield in coverage. I mean, not really deep, but just kind of in the intermediate part of the field, is Bud Dupree. That is the outside linebacker. And in this Jesse Minter defense, I said a lot during this offseason, he drops back some of those outside linebackers at times because he wants to create confusion on the defensive front and for the offensive line, you know, who's going to be rushing the passer. And if I look at and kind of see who's rushing, looks like this is Scott Matlock out here, Otito Ogbonia, and then can't tell if that is a Charger right there or not rushing the passer. It looks like that might have even been a sack. That is definitely a Charger, like right in the face of that quarterback. And then we have two other guys right here and right here on that left side. Can't tell who they are, but man, pressure's definitely on the quarterback. I think that would have maybe been a sack, but still, that is a tipped ball, interception, opportunistic defense. That's what I've been saying. That is Jesse Minter's goal. That is his mindset for this defense. He wants to create confusion for the offense and force turnovers, and we're seeing it. Now we go back to this first team defense against this first team offense. It is another turnover, double tipped pass this time. And the Chargers, they had 3 turnovers against that Rams first team offense in just the opening period of the team drills, as we see Kristian Fulton bring this ball all the way down to the fans and celebrating in front of them. But 5 turnovers in total, I think, is what the report was for this Chargers defense against the Rams, and that includes first team, second team, third team, you know, things like that. But we've seen, just from these videos and these clips, we've seen a lot of turnovers with this Rams first team against the Chargers first team defense. And the thing that I want to point out here is that we see Joey Bosa right here, Morgan Fox right there, and then the other 2 guys rushing the passer, Tuli Tuipulotu and Khalil Mack. So now we have 3 of our best edge rushers, Tuli, Khalil Mack, and Joey Bosa out on the field at the same time. We've been seeing that a lot in training camp. And Tuli Tuipulotu really getting that hand far up there, the extension. And then Alohi Gilman able to bat that ball up, keep it alive, playing some volleyball. That wide receiver did a pretty good job of trying to, you know, not allow Alohi Gilman to catch this. He's really, you know, putting Alohi in a headlock or something right there. And then Kristian Fulton, who has been playing really well recently in training camp, and I'll probably talk about that in a video tomorrow, able to keep his eyes up and react really quickly to that ball falling to the ground. Really good play by a lot of guys on this Chargers defense. And this is my favorite play that I want to show you in a great angle from Karen Loves Sports on Twitter. This was an awesome freaking clip. So let me just show you guys, just let it play really quickly here. You can see Matthew Stafford getting rid of that ball, dump off, yanking that thing out of there. Alohi Gilman with the strip fumble. Bro, Alohi has been really good at getting his hands on the ball and forcing turnovers these past like 2 or 3 years. But I just want to go back and show you really quickly. I know it's kind of tough to see because it's from really far out angle, but Matthew Stafford in the pocket, we have right here Tuli Tuipulotu, and then over here you can't really see him, but it's Morgan Fox on the defensive line. There he is, Morgan Fox. And now watch this stunt move. Tuli Tuipulotu right here. He's gonna go and hit the guard and swing out and allow Morgan Fox to, it creates space for Morgan Fox on that opposite side B gap. You see right there, taking that guard. He's gonna crash into the center, and we're gonna see Morgan Fox come up into that hole. There he is right there going into that hole. And now this would have been a sack for Matthew Stafford. Boom. Tuli Tuipulotu also gets home on this play. Both of these guys, that is a double sack. That is, and Matthew Stafford is doing like a jump to get that ball over the head of Morgan Fox. That is, he would have been lit up on this play. And then even if he wasn't, it is a forced fumble. Alohi Gilman with the strip, Deion Henley with the heads up play to get on that ball. And then obviously we're celebrating because we're all in the Gilman gang at this point, bro. Alohi has been playing really well. Alohi Gilman, Derwin James, a full healthy season. Like, that's a very good safety tandem. Now we got this clip from Chargers Country on Twitter. You guys know him. I've been showing a lot of clips. He's been at training camp a lot of these days, and we've gotten some really good clips from him. This one is going to be a run to the right side, and then smacking him up, Derwin James coming all the way down to the line of scrimmage from that safety spot. But also Asante Samuel Jr. was right there as well. This is that first team defense. Let's go back and look at some of this run defense. You see the tight end in motion, and then we're going to be running this ball towards this right side. Cooper Kupp actually does a really nice job of blocking off Jasir Taylor. Can't really tell exactly where he is. There he is right there. Does a nice job of blocking off the nickel cornerback. And then this run to the outside, he kind of bounces it towards the outside. I think this is Blake Corum from Michigan, Jim Harbaugh's dude. And then he cuts it back. Boom, stacks up with Derwin James, and then not Alohi Gilman. Asante Samuel Jr. comes in and pushes that dude all the way back. And if Asante's not there, Poona Ford is there. And if Poona Ford is not there, we got this other safety right here, Alohi Gilman coming down. We had a lot of guys coming in that run defense. Pause, but you know what? This is really good run defense. I'm liking what I'm seeing right here. We're filling the gaps, even though we got the block right there from Cooper Kupp on our nickel cornerback. We have like 3 or 4 guys in position to get that tackle. If it's not a tackle for loss or tackle right at the line of scrimmage, it's only going to be like a 2-yard gain. So I like what I saw right there. And also I want to point out the physicality of this defense. Yeah, they're playing opportunistic against the Rams right here, but also playing extremely physical like we see against the Rams right here in this run play. Derwin James come down, laying the wood. And then you can see they're pretty tenacious as well. And this is from the Rams beat reporter. She highlights Kristian Fulton as a guy who played really well, had an interception late off a tipped ball that we saw. Good coverage on back-to-back plays. First deep down the left sideline against Cooper Kupp, one of the best wide receivers. And then a part of a tandem defending Puka Nacua. Even the Rams beat reporter is pointing him out as someone who's been playing really well. And this right here is from Daniel Popper. Tremon Morris Brash is a guy who is standing out still. Again, we saw in OTAs. Remember I showed you that clip of him against Trey Pipkins? 2 tackles for loss and run defense. And that edge group, Daniel Popper saying how deep it is. Jasir Taylor, he also says that he is basically firmly at the nickel starting cornerback. Maybe that'll change if Tarheeb still starts playing even better. But elsewhere in the secondary, AJ Finley looks to be that third safety with Derwin James and Alohi Gilman. You need another safety back there. AJ Finley has taken that spot, and that is what I like to see. So that is everything you need to know from the Chargers and Rams joint practice. This defense dominating like all day. And the Rams, that's a pretty good offense, even though they didn't have all of their starters out there, like specifically on the offensive line. But this Chargers defense really was impressive, especially with this new scheme with Jesse Minter. They're looking a lot better than they did last year with our other defensive guru, Brandon Staley. Not a lot to show from this offense because, you know, Justin Herbert's not out there. Other guys like Ladd McConkey aren't out there, but bro, freaking Justin Herbert wasn't even practicing. So I can't really get a good feel of what this offense is like against the Rams. That's why I didn't show a ton of clips. That's why I didn't show any clips from this Chargers offense. But we'll be able to see Justin Herbert hopefully by week 1. That is the goal. And if you did not see my video from like a week ago, then you can click right here. But I'm back.